Hello, everybody. It's Matt.
And Desiree.
And you know what time it is?
Another episode of the Garage of Horror
Podcast.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Tonight, we're going to start off with a disclaimer. A good disclaimer, because a vague disclaimer is nobody's friend. We are talking about The Shining, and it is not going to be our usual, oh, here's the plot, here's the review.
Now, this is a bashing, so if you enjoyed the movie, you should probably go ahead and skip this episode. Or if you want to give us the play, put it on mute and keep it going. But you might not want to listen to it.
Yeah, it's we're doing the original 1980 dog shit version of The Shining, not the clearly superior 1997 ABC miniseries version of The Shining, which I'm sure we will talk a lot about anyway. As you know, we got on this because, as you guys know, we were coming up toward the end of my wife's birthday month, and she was picking all the movies, and she couldn't decide what she wanted to do for her last movie.
Yeah, Insidious just wasn't like clicking. I mean, not only did you guys vote horribly with it anyway, but the more I thought about it, and like when I reread the review thing, whatever,
The synopsis?
the summary.
Yeah, that's what a synopsis is.
Synopsises are more detailed.
No, actually, synopsises are less.
Okay, whatever. Reading that on Netflix, it was like, I don't think I really like this movie that much. So I wanted to change it up. And we had been talking about The Shining not that long ago. So Matt brought it up, about the movie, and that I had never seen it. I was like, okay, well, that goes along with the theme. It's a new movie. We'll check it out.
Well, not just that either, but like you decided you didn't want to do Insidious, and then like I suggested 13 Ghosts, and you read up on that, and you were like, "No, I remember this, and no, I don't want to watch this." So then I was like, "Hey, man, I want to record. You need to, you need to pick a movie." And so we were thinking about it, and she said she didn't know. And then, even though she was supposed to be picking, I came up with The Shining because, as will become apparent over the course of this episode, I know so many people love Stanley Kubrick. So many people love this version of The Shining. I mean, like, it even has like an 8.4 out of 10 rating, like on Amazon. But I fucking hate this movie. I fucking loathe this movie. There's just not adequate verbiage in the English language for me to describe how much I hate this fucking movie. And I usually like everything we talk about. And it's usually Des who has the contrarian opinion. So I was like, let's flip the script. Maybe it'll be funny to do a movie that I can't stand, since I usually like everything. And maybe you'll like it and it'll be different, whatever. So we got together and we started watching it. And I really tried to keep my comments to myself during the movie because I didn't want to like color her opinion of it.
He didn't need to, honestly. But I made the first comment, didn't I?
I think you did.
Because it was just like, really?
Yeah.
Let me just preface this with, if I had not watched the miniseries previously, I'd have had no fucking clue what was going on.
Yes, exactly. And let's just fucking dive in here. Like, and I'm probably gonna set a new record for F-bombs on this episode. So, again, if profanity bothers you, you should probably skip this episode. But it's exactly right, like you just brought up. For you, if you hadn't seen the miniseries beforehand, you wouldn't know what was going on. Exactly. For me, I read the book. The Shining was actually the very first Stephen King book I ever read. I was slumming it in the children's library growing up. first summer that I hit 6th grade and I was able to get my adult library card, that was, I went in and The Shining was the first adult book that I ever rented. And, I read it in 3 days, scared the shit out of myself, because, I was always reading it in the middle of the night after my aunt and grandma went to sleep and, everything else. And, they usually let you rent a book for like a week or two back then. So, like, in that 2 week period, like, I read it like 4 times. Okay. So, like, while Salem's Lot is my favorite Stephen King novel, like, The Shining is up there. It holds a special place in my heart. So, when I saw the 1980 version with the Stanley Kubrick movie, like, I hated it right away. And I'm not even in bad company because Stephen King hates it too. That's right. The guy that wrote the book hates that movie. But as I'm digressing, the point is, and my biggest problem with Kubrick's version of The Shining is that he's like a kid giving a poor book report.
Yeah, like, that's a good way to describe it, actually.
He is hitting, he's telling you all the big stuff that happens in the book, but not why. It's like he expects you to come into the movie having already read the book. So it's like, oh, I don't have to explain why this is happening because you read the book, you get it.
Yeah, like skipping over big parts, and it's like, what? Wait a second. Like, there were a couple times, because it's been years since I've watched the miniseries until today. But, like, there were a few parts where I really had to think and, like, remember. I was like, why? Why is it like that? Like, what happened to get to this? Like, and then it really threw me off that they changed the room number because it just didn't sound right to begin with. But I couldn't remember because it had been so long.
Yeah, and what narrative purpose does changing the room number from 217 to 237 serve? And I know probably people are going to be listening to this and be like, yes, Matt, what is the narrative purpose? It doesn't matter whether it's 217 or it's 237. Why are you so upset about it? I'm upset about it because in the book, it was 217. It is one of the most famous hotel room numbers in history, okay? Like, everybody knows what went down in room 217 in The Shining. So, why?
More syllables, maybe?
Why, like, I read the book and I know it's 217, but for whatever fucking reason, I will make it 237. Or maybe he didn't read the book or had a barely passing ships in the night with the book thing and was like, what was the room number? Like, what, like 227, 237? Something? I'll just go with 237, whatever.
I feel like somebody would have stepped in and been like, no, it's 217. You gotta change it.
And
then again, you made it sound like he's an epic dick anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For the people listening at home, I don't know how many people are like really up to date on the filming of The Shining, like I am. Because when I love a movie, I learn all kinds of stuff about it. And when I hate a movie, I learn even more about it because that way I can justify my hatred, especially for this movie, because for whatever reason, everybody and their mom just fucking loves this movie and like they just line up to fillet Kubrick over this movie and everything else. So when I come rolling in with the unpopular opinion that this movie is hot dog shit mixed with wet garbage on a hot summer day, I have to have legit reasons. Like I gotta come with those receipts. I gotta back my shit up.
That is a direct quote, by the way.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I did say that earlier too, and I think you're right. I think my sister did delete her comment from Facebook.
But I saw her saying it, but I didn't see yours again. Like hours later, I don't know.
When we were just upstairs a couple minutes ago, and I went to look at it, and like mine is gone, hers is gone. It's just me, you, and Ruben on there. So like, I'm pretty sure that like I went ham and I bought the Thunder. So she deleted it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to see it, so.
But basically, she said that she preferred the movie over the miniseries, and I may have went a little overboard in asking why or explaining why she shouldn't. But
In a very crude way.
listen, if making my feelings on this movie known as crude, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell anybody. Could I have said it in a nicer way? I guess, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to say a bunch of sacrilegious shit during this episode. You know, first being Kubrick, not that great of a director. Yeah, don't care. You know, everybody's like, The Shining, 2001, Eyes Wide Shut. Don't care. I've seen all of them. They're all fucking garbage. Step 2.
I cannot comment on that.
Yeah, I know you haven't seen them. And really, we don't need to talk about those because we're here to talk about The Shining.
Yes.
And for sacrilege comment number 2, the biggest thing, the absolute biggest thing about the 1980 version of The Shining that I think just doesn't work is Jack Nicholson.
Listen, though. It's not saying he's a bad actor. He just does not have a lot of range. As you said earlier. Thank you for giving me that word. He is a great crazy guy. Like, hands down, if you need a crazy fucker to play in your movie, he is your guy. Even now when he's what, like 80?
Yeah.
But he just does not have the range that the movie required to sell it.
Like yeah, it's like even when Jack Nicholson's trying not to look crazy, he looks fucking crazy. Like, it's just his face. He just has a crazy face. Like,
he does. His eyebrows just
it just is what it is. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It just is.
He's got that crazy look in his eyes.
Yes.
It doesn't go away. It's just there naturally.
So it's like by time he snaps out and tries to kill his family, it's like, okay, finally, here we go.
Yeah.
And like, of course.
Sons of bitch has been crazy all this time. So.
Right. And because like as you like there's no arc to Jack.
No.
In Kubrick's version of The Shining. Okay. One of the reasons why I love the book so much is because it is very layered. Okay. Like, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of subtext. There's a lot of things going on in that book. Like when you read it, and about Jack's alcoholism, about broken families, because like he had a horrible father and like Wendy had a horrible mother, right? And they're both just trying to like fucking hang on and not fuck up Danny too bad.
Which you do not get from the movie at all.
Right.
None of it. It's never mentioned.
But it's like
there's like one mention of his father.
Yeah. But it's like, and like Stephen King even said, he was like, when he was writing The Shining, okay, because The Shining was his third book, okay, Carrie was first, Salem's Lot second, Shining third, right? Okay. And I mean, most people would say like Carrie and Salem's Lot, both awesome. But in King's own words, in the foreword of the paperback that came out right around when they did the miniseries, right? He talked a lot about how The Shining was a book that made him grow as a writer because he took chances, right? He said he was writing it, and he said it would have been really easy, okay, for him to make Jack hate his father, right? Because Jack's father was an alcoholic. He beat on his wife, which you don't get in the movie at all. You don't really get it in the miniseries either. No, but like Jack would beat on his wife. Jack's dad would beat on his wife. He would beat on Jack. Like, he was just that prototypical abusive drunk, right? And he said it would have been real easy to just write that relationship as Jack not liking his father because Jack's dad was a monster, right? Easy. But he said instead he decided to write it as Jack still loved his father, in spite of all of that, because that is a complex human emotion, right? And like that would make sense that like, a kid might get his feelings mixed up. Like a kid
Right.
might still love a parent that's not good for them or that does, bad things to them. Like,
Yeah.
it's complex. Human feelings are complex,
Yeah.
right? So, and instead of shying away from that, he leaned into it and went with it. So he credited that book as, helping him grow as a writer. So maybe that's another reason why he hates the movie so much, because the book is this personal thing to him where he took this big step and the movie just kind of shit all over it.
Yeah, just a little. And with like with that, yeah, they don't touch on it at all. And like you see in the miniseries, and like you said in the book, like Jack starts out at, he felt horrible for hurting Danny. He loved his family. He wanted them to be happy and safe, and like that's why he gave up the drinking for good and started doing AA meetings and everything else. And there's no mention of AA meetings. In the movie, and he just automatically seems annoyed with them all the time. Like Danny asks a simple question, or no, he says he's hungry. He's like, "Well, if you would have eaten breakfast, rah, rah, rah." Like, really? He's a
well,
fucking baby.
well, like you made the comment about when they were driving in the car
Yeah,
up to the Overlook Hotel, like he was being a dick in the car.
yeah,
Like, yeah, like Jack Nicholson, he only has one setting in that movie, like with his family. Asshole.
yep, pretty much.
And then another layer you don't get is in the 1980 movie, like he goes up there, him and Almond talk, and Almond's all like, "Yep, you got the job. You need to do this. You need to do that." And like it's
Go on
done.
a tour.
Okay, let's go on a tour. But in the book and in the miniseries, like Jack and Almond can't fucking stand each other because Almond's life is the Overlook Hotel. And the last time he gave the caretaking job to an alcoholic, he went crazy, chopped up two of his twin daughters with an axe, and then did some home dentistry with a shotgun.
But
Okay.
you're kind of mixing them there because in the movie he didn't go, or he
No,
had
I
the
know.
family.
But
But
I'm
in the miniseries, he didn't. They said, he was there by himself, and well, Jack at least has his family.
yeah. They
So
spliced a little bit,
Yeah.
but like in the book, like that's what happened. So Almond was like, "I don't want to hire you," but he's like, "I have to because Jack's friend is on the board of directors and this and that and everything else." So like it was very contentious. Okay, just saying. Like he just changed a whole bunch of stuff that just either outright didn't need changed, or the movie is worse off for not having it.
Yeah, like skipped a lot of the stuff that like that might not have been a huge deal. Even if he had acknowledged, something like, I don't know.
But no, it kind of
Even
is
without
because
the horrible contention, like even if there was just a slight little bit, like it wasn't just, oh yeah, look at you, you have the job, congratulations, blah blah blah. Just like a little hesitation.
yeah, and like, but and it's like, and so in the movie, like, there's no reason for them to stay at the hotel once things start to go bad.
Yeah.
Okay, whereas in the miniseries, because you get this whole look into their background and everything else, it's like that he's a barely hanging on, recovering drunk. He had the two incidences in Vermont before they came out to Colorado. One where he broke, so like he broke Danny's arm, right, when he was drunk. So his marriage is like hanging on by a thread,
right,
because of this. He beat the shit out of that kid and lost his teaching job, right? Yeah. So his ability to provide for his family is hanging on by a thread, yeah, right? So he needs this job. So that is why when shit does start going crazy in the miniseries, he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" Okay, yeah, we'll just leave. Maybe we can get a job in California in the spring. We can pick fruit with the migrants, and Danny won't have to go to high school to learn a second language. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So like, there's a reason for them to stay at the hotel when things start getting weird, other than plot, yeah, or other than oh, we're gonna make the characters be stupid.
Basically.
Like Jack feels trapped by their situation. Like this has to work out.
Yeah. Whereas with the movie, it's like he's the trapper. No, we're staying. That's it. We're not leaving here. Like no explanation. Just nope. We're not leaving. You're
It,
being ridiculous.
yeah, and I think one of the biggest disservice that it does too is it's like I have seen so many memes during this quarantine where people are like, "Oh, day 20 of the quarantine," and then it's a picture of Jack Torrance, like Jack Nicholson, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this isolation is driving me crazy, and I'm gonna kill everybody," and it's like because that's the way the movie painted it.
Yeah.
Like you didn't see. I mean, okay, Jack saw Grady once, and he talked to the bartender,
Yeah.
right? But like that was it. So in the movie, yeah, they pretty much painted as, oh, he went crazy from the isolation.
Right.
Whereas in the book, it was like, no, dude, the fucking ghosts in the hotel drove him crazy because they wanted his fucking kid.
Yeah.
Like,
And
so
kept harping on it.
yeah, so a whole big motivation of the plot from the book is now gone.
Yeah.
For what reason?
And even, like in the beginning, still like the beginning of the movie, it hasn't. He's doing the writing like in the big. I don't know. It's not an office.
It's
one
like a
of the.
lobby
Yeah.
type thing, yeah.
And Wendy and Danny go outside to play, and he's like staring out the window like murderously. And it's like nothing's really happened yet.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's just
They're
there.
still
Yeah.
they're just acclimating.
Yeah, and it's like they're not in there bugging him,
Yeah.
right? And it's like it does that high pitched ringing shit that you started talking about. Like you were like, oh my god. But like, yeah, it was like nothing was happening. It was just like he went crazy because the story said he had to go crazy.
Yeah.
There was none of the external
Factors.
forces.
Yeah.
Factors. Like, whereas like the mini series, you have the broken arm. Like he does a thing where he sprays the hornet's nest, right? And he's like, oh yeah, it's safe, and they put it in Danny's room, and then the hotel does its thing, and the wasps come back.
Right.
And Danny gets all stung, and and Wendy's like, dude, you said it was safe for her, and he's like, why do I mess everything up? Like that statement right there tells you everything you need to know about like this Jack's headspace.
Yeah.
Like nothing goes right for him. He feels like he messes everything up. So of course he would feel like he has to stay and do this job.
Yeah.
Like he needs a win. Like he needs to do something right.
Right. Meanwhile, in the movie, it's just like, fuck you, we're staying, I'm writing. And something that annoyed me too, like, you never see him doing any work or maintenance on the hotel. You see Wendy go down and do something with the boiler or whatever, but Jack, you don't see him do shit. All you see is him writing and looking out fucking crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like nothing. There's no hornet's nest. There's no maintenance at all.
Yeah, and it's like that's the whole
cooking and bringing food. She brings him breakfast in bed. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You have the job. Get your ass up and go to fucking work.
But like, but it's like the dumping of the boiler is really the main reason he's there.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he's supposed to do repairs and stuff and not let the weather get a foothold on the hotel, but it's like the boiler is the big deal. He's supposed to eat one wing one day, one wing another, and he's supposed to keep cycling it through so that, like, pipes don't freeze, so all kinds of shit like that don't happen.
Right.
And then like he has to watch it because, as it says in the book and the miniseries, the boiler creeps. So if you forget and you don't pay attention, you will blow the hotel sky fucking high,
right.
because it'll blow up. But yeah, like that is my main beef with this movie version, is that like he trims it down. He goes crazy because I'm locked inside with nowhere to go for it's supposed to be from the end of October till the beginning of like May. but they don't make it that long.
No.
Okay.
It's October 30th to May 1st.
Yeah, but they don't make it that long.
They don't even tell you. Like they do a month and then they do like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Like what? There's a lot of Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays in their fucking 6 month span. You know, like at least in the miniseries it gives you dates.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, it's like October 26th. Like
yeah, and say I
December,
remember specifically December 20th.
Yeah.
Because that's like when shit starts to hit the fan,
so to speak.
Yeah.
And then like, so you have that, and then they completely neuter the woman in 217 in the movie. Like, like he goes in and she's in there and he starts making out with her, and then all of a sudden, like, yeah, she's like all like rotted in a couple places, and then like she just starts like laughing at him, like walking toward him and like laughing. Like the woman in 217, the miniseries, is so much fucking creepier.
Yeah. And
so
you never even
much.
see it with Danny.
Yeah.
Like Danny walks in the door and then the next thing you know he's coming down with his shirt ripped and marks on his neck.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing to, I don't know. The only thing that really gets Danny is the twins.
Yeah. Like he sees them like dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like in the big thing with the book is that like all those ghosts are there. And when Danny comes with him having that shining, like they want him, man, because they can manifest. Like they want to use him like a fucking battery, right? But as Dick Halloran says, to Danny, they're just like pictures in a book, right?
Yeah.
They can't hurt you, right? Yeah. You just look away, count to 10, and bye, they're gone. So they can't get Danny themselves. That's why they have to go through Jack.
Yeah. Although they do have, in both versions, she tries to strangle him.
Yeah, she does.
She doesn't succeed, but.
But yeah, and I mean, like, that was the big game-changing thing, in the movie there. But, yeah, like, they can't do it themselves. Yeah. That's why they lean on Jack so hard.
Right.
Like, that's why he has to do it.
Yeah, and you just don't get that. Like, Danny and Wendy see so much more than, Jack does.
Yeah,
you see of it.
Yeah, like in the 1980 version, it's like when, like, Jack goes out because, he goes chasing Danny into that stupid fucking hedge maze that also doesn't exist in the book, and she comes to the hotel and, like, she sees all the skeletons, like, sitting on all the stuff in the lobby and this and that, so like right there, she has seen more than Jack, right? Yeah. And she doesn't go crazy homicidal. Like you know what I mean?
Blood in the hallway.
Yeah, the big thing of blood in the hallway. So it's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I feel like, and I'll probably get a lot of blowback for this, but whatever. It's like, I feel like the people that love the movie have probably never read the book. That's right. I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there.
I never read the book and I didn't love the movie. Just saying.
Yeah, but like you said, though, you had seen the miniseries.
Yeah.
So, like, even though it was a while ago, like, it was when you first came over to Germany with me, so, like, 2000.
I mean, I had seen it years and years before that, too.
Yeah, but your most recent time would have been 2012 at the earliest. Yeah. So, you're looking at 8 years, like, almost a decade since you've seen it. So, I mean, even if your memory was fragmented, you still had an inkling, like, a remembrance of of what was going on and why.
Yeah. It just I didn't really remember like the version of Wendy, in the miniseries, but I did know like instantly I didn't like this one with the whole. I mean, other than her like smoking every 50 seconds, which I know that was a big thing back then. But it's, just all the time. And then she's sitting there talking to who? I can't even remember who. The doctor. Talking to the doctor after he has a fit and tells him how, he dislocated his shoulder. Or he had an injury. And like, she skirted around it a lot, and then it was just like, well, he did it, but he's a good guy.
Yeah,
It just like it seemed so like
she's a doormat.
yeah.
And like that's another reason King hates it, because he said that's not the way he wrote Wendy. Like that's
Right.
not the woman he wrote.
But
And I
even
mean,
like with not remembering the version that he wrote or that's in the miniseries, like that just pissed me off because it would be like she made excuses for him. Like I think if it was me, it would have been my husband fucked up, he hurt him, and he's on his last chance. Like if it ever happens again, I'm gonna slit his fucking throat in his sleep.
so you're Wendy from the miniseries.
Yeah, basically.
When the doctor's like, "How did he break his arm?" and she was like, I mean, she stumbled a bit but not because she was trying to cover up, but because it was hard for her to talk about.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
Yeah, but it was like his dad hurting, like his dad broke his arm.
Yeah.
And it was before he stopped drinking. He's not drinking now. Things are getting better.
Yeah.
Right? She's not saying everything's forgiven because Wendy holds a fucking grudge in the miniseries like nobody's fucking business.
I did point out though that she had a valid reason.
Y'all always think y'all got a valid reason.
No, because there was that. Then the Hornet's Nest.
But the Hornet's Nest was the hotel.
Yeah, but
so that's not Jack's fault.
But they didn't know that at that point. They didn't know there was anything going on with the hotel. Like, as far as she knew and saw, he brought this Hornet's Nest in, said it was safe, and then her baby got stopped. So he fucked up.
I'm just saying, I identify with Jack. I understand it.
Of course you do.
Because
you're not a mama.
No, because it's just like in the miniseries later, when Danny does get choked by the woman in 217 and he finally comes out of his trance when they notice the lipstick on his cheek and he jumps off of Wendy's lap after Wendy accused Jack of doing it to him, even though she heard Jack yelling and knew he wasn't upstairs with him. And Danny's like, it was her. And he's like, oh yeah? And she's like, oh, you surely don't think it was me. And he was like, no, I don't. But it doesn't feel nice to be accused now, does it? And I said, that would have been my exact fucking response.
Which is perfectly fine. However, when there's 3 people in the hotel, one got hurt and you didn't do it, the only logical explanation is that the other person did.
And while I would normally agree with that, she got woke up by him yelling, telling Danny to come downstairs because the CB was broke and he was like, get down here, blah, 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 blah. If I have to come up there, things are going to get bad. And she comes out while he's yelling this. So if he's saying, get down here, if I have to come up there, things are going to get bad. Obviously, he has not been upstairs yet. So when Danny comes to the landing upstairs and he is all choked up and stuff, obviously it wasn't Jack because he wasn't fucking upstairs.
Yes, but I understand like gut response, like
because you let emotion overrule logic.
You hurt my baby.
Because you let emotion overrule logic.
You hurt my baby. Somebody hurt my baby, and it wasn't me, so it had to be you.
And that is another thing that the miniseries has over the movie. Jack in the movie goes crazy because he can't go outside.
Yeah.
Which, actually, he can go outside. He can go outside all he wants. He can't go to town.
Right.
Unless he hops on a snowmobile and goes. But he can go out. He can do do whatever. Right. But it's like, oh, I'm cooped up and now I got cabin fever and now I'm going to kill everybody. Whereas miniseries and book Jack, so much fucking stress that it's like, of course he goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't add in the ghost shit, but the ghost shit exacerbates it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they are fucking with everything. But, and I'm not trying to be sexist and women blame, but I think if Wendy doesn't automatically think that everything is him, maybe he doesn't go crazy. Maybe it's not so easy for the ghosts to drive him crazy. But when he is constantly being accused of shit that he knows he did not do, and she just won't listen.
What is this constantly though? It's one instance.
No, if you'd have been paying attention today, and we actually didn't get to the third part of it because, you know, the kids and everything, but like everything is him.
Like what?
Okay, so like for example, let's go back to the hornet's nest, right? It's like she says, "Oh, you said that it was fine, you know, blah blah blah," right?
Mm-hmm.
And she takes Danny out, right? They're stung. He goes in, you know, he disposes of the hornet's nest, right? He comes out, he's taking pictures of the stings, right? He's like, "I know I used that right, you know, I'm gonna sue him." Right? He's taking pictures. 5,000 a sting should be good, right? And what did she do? You know, she was like, well, maybe it was defective, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. He's like, yeah, maybe, right? Because I know I used it right. Maybe it was defective. But the point is that like Danny goes asleep and like that situation is diffused, right? She obviously realizes there was something wrong with the bug bomb because she was the one that suggested it, right? Right. So that argument is done. That is over with. Yet, a couple minutes later, or the next day or something, whenever something happens, and Jack says, "Oh, well, it's ba ba ba," she was like, "Well, you said the hornet's nest was safe." So she turned around, and at this point, the next day, when she knows it wasn't his fault, she throws it in his face.
Well, her baby got hurt.
That's not a law. No, that's not an excuse.
It is.
No, it's not. But it perfectly illustrates my point. Is they talk about it, it's done, but the first minute she gets mad, she uses it like a weapon. So if you were doing that to me over months in a hotel and I can't go outside, I can't have a drink, I'm a recovering alcoholic, you know, like they get fucking headaches, they get DTs, he's all fucking stressed, and then you come in on top and you're accusing me of shit that I did not do, and you're using shit like a weapon, and you're making me feel bad about myself. If a ghost starts saying, yeah, she's a bitch, you should probably do something about her, you know, I might be like, what are you saying? I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're saying very loud, by the way. Like, deafening my ear.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, you can say that because, oh, I'm mean and I do that to you. But
I'm just saying I can identify.
But she has one thing that she accuses him of. She says something about it one time. Like, it's not like this constant thing. She made a comment. Well, you said that was safe. As in, that wasn't safe. So how do you know this is?
You need to rewatch that from earlier then because she did not say it with that tone. It was a I gotcha. Well, you said that was safe. It was a weaponized attack.
Yes, because he was trying to do something that once again in her eyes was reckless or dangerous. And he's trying to say it's fine. And it's like, well, you said that was fine and it wasn't. Whether the bomb was defective or not, he said it was fine and it was not fine.
You women's always stick together.
Yeah, well, you men's can all sleep on the couch together.
But see, look at us even just discussing it. Right? So, if you put yourself into character's shoes, all right, that's tension. It's stressful.
Well, then, see, you can use that same argument with the movie because
no, that's what I was saying. So like so in the miniseries, that's what I'm saying. Like just us talking about it, like you know, our emotions were getting up, right? So in the miniseries, so yeah, it's like okay, our emotions got up talking about it. If you put ourselves in the character's shoes, which is what we did, that would be stressful.
Yeah. But going back to the movie.
Oh, like the actual the shit movie. Okay, gotcha. My bad.
She does accuse him of hurting Danny. However, in that one, you know, it's a lot more feasible because, like I said, fucking crazy ass, and he's just an asshole automatically, you know, from the get go. But you could still use that, you know. Well, she accused him of it, but then, like you bring up later, you know, they're talking and stuff, and he's going to check the room, and then the next thing you know, she's going to look for him with a baseball bat.
Yeah, like I was literally, as soon as when I was waiting for you to finish talking, because like that was literally the next thing I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you get so far in the movie and she's like, you know, something happened to Danny in 237. So, you know, he goes in there and looks, you know, he has the confrontation or the episode with the woman in there, right?
Yeah.
And he comes back and he was like, oh, I looked, there was nobody in there, blah, blah, blah.
Which really pissed me off,
Right?
too.
Yeah, right. But like there was no, their exchange didn't get heated.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just like, oh, he lied. You know, oh, there's nobody in there. But it's like, okay, right? There was nothing in that conversation that would lead me to believe that at that point Jack was dangerous.
Right.
Right? But then, like you said, she doesn't see him after that until she goes to talk to him. And she's like, okay, Danny, here, you stay in here. And she takes the ball back.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, where's the no, exactly. So like, where's the motivation for her to take the ball back? You know, it's like, no, it's just like the movie is telling you, okay, at this point she needs a weapon.
Yeah.
But they don't lay any of the groundwork.
Right.
You know?
Maybe I know I'm like grasping at straws here. Maybe the baseball bat wasn't in, you know, regards to Jack, but into somebody else possibly being in the hotel that, you know, hurt her baby.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
But like it just seemed, with the way it was shot and the way it was done, like it seemed like it was pointed.
Yeah.
And like I said, like it seems like, okay, this is, and it's only happening because this is where we are in the movie now.
Yeah.
Okay, like at least, you know, in the miniseries, by the time Wendy goes after Jack with the croquet mallet, like there's reason.
Oh yeah.
Okay, like, you know what I mean? Like he's slipping. You know, she could see that he's slipping. Like when she comes down and she's talking to him and she's trying to get him to go to bed with her, right?
Yeah.
She's like, you're not drinking, but all of your old drinking habits are back.
Yeah.
You know, you're wiping your mouth. You know, you're rubbing your mouth. You're chewing the tablets. You're short tempered. You're
so
yeah.
You don't want me.
Yeah. So like he's having all the behaviors of when he's drunk, even though he's not,
right.
Because that's what the hotel's doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's doing to him. You know, and that's another great thing about the book and the miniseries is that like Jack goes bad, right? Of course he does. And it's like you don't want him to kill his wife. You don't want him to kill his son, right?
Right.
And by the end of the movie, like, you know, when he is stalking, you know, when he is smacking his wife around and trying to kill her, and when he is stalking Danny through the halls with a croquet mallet and Danny's trying to hide, you know, there is still a part of you that is upset. Like, you feel sorry for him because it's like, you know, he is not acting of his right mind.
Right.
Like, you don't want, it's not that you want him to succeed. It's not that you're upset that he's failing. You're upset because with all the groundwork that has been laid, you have watched this guy who has been trying to do the right thing slowly succumb to these demons.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know, it's upsetting.
Yeah.
And like that's what the miniseries delivers in spades. It's what the book delivers in spades over the original. I don't fucking feel sorry for Jack in the original.
Oh no, he's a fucking crazy motherfucker.
He's an asshole.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, the whole, like I said last night, the whole like maze hedge scene, whatever you want to call it, gave me so much anxiety. Like watching it was hard because it was like, well, he's this crazy fucking asshole. He's gonna find him and he's gonna kill him. And as a little boy, he can't hide from him. Like he took him forever to even realize that he was just following his tracks. Like he got really smart really quick, but it was like it's just a matter of time. So I was so anxious through that whole scene.
Yeah.
You know, it was bad.
Yeah. And it's like and then like, you know, with the Jack and the miniseries, it's like even when he does get Danny cornered in the upstairs hallway with the croquet mallet, but Danny is able to get through to him long enough to get away because under that murderous rage, under that hotel influence, that man that loves his son is still in there.
Yeah.
Okay? So, like, Danny is able to tap into that and get away.
Right.
Whereas in the movie, like you said, if he finds him with that axe, that kid's done.
Yeah.
Like, there's not gonna be any, oh, you're my dad, I love you, blah blah blah. No, he's gonna find and he's gonna murder the fuck out of him. Like, it's just that simple. There's no nuance.
No, the
None.
only scene in that whole movie where he shows any kind of love is the creepiest fucking pedophile scene fucking ever. Come here. Come sit on my lap. You know I love you, right?
Yeah, it's like watching a sociopath pretend to love somebody. Like he's mimicking what a loving father is supposed to do, but he's not good at it because he doesn't know how to do it.
It was so creepy. Like, I just got super pedophile vibes like that whole time.
And like, honestly, like the last 15 to 20 minutes of the movie from 80, like from where she does swing at him with the bat because like he starts going in on her.
Yeah.
Like that last 20 minutes of the movie, that is the only part of that movie is good. Because at this point, it's like now Jack is going psycho. That's what Jack Nicholson's good at. Yeah. Okay. And it's like, okay, this is where we are now. So now like what he's doing makes sense.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, I can watch this, but like all that shit beforehand, no.
Yeah. Well, even
because like I didn't buy any of it.
Even with him backing her up the steps, it was like out of place though, because she hadn't done anything to him. She had the bat, and she was swinging, but she hadn't touched him. And he's like, "I'm just gonna bash your fucking head in."
Yeah, but like, yes, but still though, but what I'm saying though, it's like, yes, like she hasn't done anything, so it's like, wow, you are being really extra, Jack. You're overreacting. But at that point, when Jack is coming up the stairs and he's like, I ain't gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your fucking head in. Like, Nicholson sells that.
Oh yeah,
because it's like, oh yeah, it's crazy time. Like it's crazy o'clock, and like that's what he's good at. So now it's like, now I'm not watching him try to like do this climb, these different shades. Now he's in his wheelhouse of what he does well, and it's like, okay, like I'm sold. But talking about that scene, that was the thing I bought with my sister. It's like Kubrick made her film that scene 127 times, 127 takes to back up the stairs, swinging the bat at him occasionally.
Yeah.
127. So the take that you see on film where she is crying and she's like, I'm confused, I just want to go back to my room, that's fucking real because she's been doing it for hours. It's take 127. She doesn't know what she's doing wrong. Like, that's not acting.
Yeah.
Okay? And then Kubrick's like, nobody sympathized with her on the set. No one be nice. I want her to know what it's like to feel isolated. But like, she started getting so stressed out, like her hair was fucking falling out. She almost quit acting. Dude, it's a fucking movie. There's absolutely no need to do that.
Yeah.
Okay? It is supposed to be for entertainment. And if you can't get the emotion out of the actor that you want just by asking, or you feel you have to resort to literally putting them through stressful trauma to get that reaction, maybe you're not as good as a director as everybody fucking thinks you are.
Yeah, the blatant abuse there really pissed me off too when you told me that. Like,
that's insanity. Like, even Jack Nicholson has said in interviews, that like she had it the hardest of everybody on the set. But like Alfred Hitchcock used to do the same fucking thing to like his female leads. Yeah. And well, like that's all you ever hear is like they do that shit to female leads. They don't do that to their male leads. You know why? Because a male lead would clean their fucking clog. Like if he tried to do that to Jack Nicholson would have beat him with that fucking baseball bat.
Right. And then walked off.
Like, legit.
But I mean, the whole acting field, it's so bad anyway with women, even now. But especially back then because we were only newly people.
We were only newly people.
Yeah, we were barely above property.
But like even just okay, so like even with those plot points, and then I mean just like stylistically, like with Danny, it's like talking to Tony. What's with the fucking wiggle finger and the throat cancer voice?
Yeah, I've never seen a kid with an imaginary friend that they had to move their finger
And talk like they smoke 10 packs a day for like 5 years.
Yeah, like Tony came off as fucking creepy, and then he's like, "Oh, the little boy that lives in my mouth." Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what?
Oh, he hides and he goes in my stomach. What?
Yeah, no.
The fuck? What? Again, nothing like that in the book. It's just like Kubrick. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? What are you trying? What?
Yeah.
And
that poor little boy was probably traumatized too.
Well, no. See, actually, they say that for him, they filmed all his scenes like like when he saw the girls cut up in the hallway with all the blood. You notice how they would like show his face and then they would show the hall.
Yeah.
And then they would show his face and it was normal. And then they would show his face and it was there. Like they were not there at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't
like no, like he has like the actor like has come out and said that like for the longest time he thought he was filming a different movie. He didn't even know what the movie was until like he saw it when he was older. Oh. Because like they took great pains to not show him anything scary. Oh, okay. Because he wasn't a woman.
Yeah, apparently. True. If it was a little girl, they'd have probably traumatized her.
But, and then, going back to the mini series, it's like, well, in the movie, they do have the one shot where he goes in and he sees the bartender and the bartender gives him one drink. Yeah. Or, he has like a couple, like 2 drinks or whatever. Right. Like in the mini series, though, like he goes in, it's like that whole fucking party. He's having all those drinks. And like, it's actually one of my favorite shots of the mini series. And we didn't get to it today because it's in the 3rd part. But it's like when he sees that whole party going on and he's like drinking, right? And then like he's dancing with the woman. Yeah. It's like he's dancing with the woman and there's music and lights, and everything's going on. It's a big party. And then like they kind of cut like out of his head. They cut to the actual bar and like it's cold and dark and he's like dancing by himself. Yeah. Like, like his arms are up and he's just kind of, like he's just kind of like, so like they give you that shot of like, this is not really happening. Yeah. Right. And he looks ridiculous. Yeah. Like, just, dancing by himself in this empty room. But I think it also shows you that by this point, like the hotel has just gotten so far inside of his head and has influenced him so much that like he thinks that's really happening. Like he cannot tell what is real and what isn't real anymore.
Well, even with watching, with the whole CB radio thing, like he smashed with his dad. Shit out of it because of his dad, and then
and like just hearing his dad talk to him, like the way his dad talks to him through that CB radio, and he's like, "Are you stupid?"
Yeah, like you can hear
like contempt. Yes, the contempt, like the venom in his voice, like it's like, holy fuck, dude, like that's a toxic dude. Yeah, like but again, like he doesn't remember breaking the CB. Yeah, or doing and whatnot because
and then
it's like
when he breaks
the snowmobile. Yeah, because it's like he dissociates. Yeah, like he goes away. Yep. Because like it's almost like he's under the influence of the hotel, like he would be under the influence of alcohol.
Yeah, he comes around and he blacks out.
Exactly, like being blackout drunk. Yeah. As I say, like the stuff that happens in the hotel is a metaphor for alcoholism. Yeah. That is another layer of like that book, right?
Whereas the movie does not have it at all.
The movie is not like an ogre. No. It does not have layers.
No. Or Lucifer.
Yeah, right. But and like I think that's really I guess like if I didn't know what The Shining was, Like, you know, like if I had not read the book and like somebody was like, oh, hey, you should watch this movie. It's about this guy that, you know, he's in isolation and he goes crazy and tries to kill his family. It's like, okay, I could watch that. And, you know,
Maybe
might
if it was
find
a
it.
standalone movie, it
Yeah,
would be
yeah. Or,
okay.
you know, like might find it interesting. But given that I know what the source material is, it just fails to live up to the source material on any level.
Yeah.
No level. Like I cannot think of one instance in the 80s movie where I can look at it and say, yeah, you know, that's like the book, or you know, like that. I can't. Like I don't see it.
Yeah.
Like you said, if it had been called something else,
maybe. But like I said, and you said like there's a lot of non-progression like that you just don't see. So it's just like why is it like that, you know? But then if you didn't have anything to reference, maybe you wouldn't question it so much.
right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if I didn't have anything to reference, it was like, oh, this guy is like at the hotel for the winter, and you know he's going stir crazy, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, he goes stir crazy, and he tries to kill his family, like the previous caretaker did,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay, like if it's a standalone thing, like I can get on board with that, but it's not,
Right.
and like I know what it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
and it's not that
At all.
yeah, like
not even
at
close.
all.
That's like the worst part. You know, no movie will ever live up to its book.
Yeah, of course,
You know,
but
it's
there's
just not possible.
yeah, but like there's failing, there's giving your best shot, right, and getting a lot of things right, but maybe falling just short, right? There's that, and then there's The Shining.
Yeah.
You know, and another thing that the movie robs you of is like, I mean, like the biggest victim of the movie version is Jack. Like it takes this great complex character and makes him a paper villain, like a paper thin villain. And by time he fucking freezes to death in the hedge maze, it's like good, right? But like there's no redemption, right? It's like he's an asshole the whole movie. He tries to kill his kid and he dies an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? And they leave him behind. You know, like they get in the fucking thing and they leave him behind.
Yeah.
Whereas in the miniseries, for the 30th time, you know, he has Danny upstairs. And that's what it is. He has Danny upstairs, and Danny looks at him and he goes, you can't do anything because you forgot. There's something that you forgot that my daddy wouldn't forget, but that you forgot. And he remembers then that he didn't dump the boiler. So he has to go down to the basement so he can dump the boiler so that the whole fucking hotel doesn't explode. Yeah. Right? But he goes down there and the ghosts show up and they're like, dump the boiler, what are you waiting for? And it's in that moment that he's like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna do this. Like, Danny, get out of here. You know, I'm not gonna dump the boiler. I'm gonna blow this fucking place up. Yeah. You know, and the ghosts like try to grab it and it won't work, you know, and he sacrifices himself. Yeah. To blow up the hotel so that they can get away. Yeah. So like you see him go crazy and try to kill them all, but then like, you know, at the end there, you know, like he fights his way out, you know, and he does this one last thing. Yeah. Right? To save his family. Like, you know, he said like, why can't I ever do anything right? That's the one thing he fucking does right. Yeah. Right? And that's what you get. You get that.
And then you're sad that he died.
Yes.
Even though he was literally just trying to kill his family.
Yes. But that's why I said, like, you never abandon him completely. Yeah. like as bad as that sounds.
He is the victim too.
Yes, he is another victim of the hotel. Yeah. Legit.
And Jack Nicholson is not.
No, and that's the other thing. Like, they show, like, he sees two ghosts. Two. Right? Two. And he dies out there in the maze, and then all of a sudden he's in the fucking picture. Yeah. Hanging on the wall. Such and such ball, 1920.
They made a
what?
They made a comment about him having always been the caretaker there too. When he sees like Dwight, whatever.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's he's not the bartender. He's like a waiter type.
Yeah, like I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And he's like, no, you've always been the caretaker here, Mr. Torrance.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Like they try to put in another layer.
Yeah,
tried
they
to put in a
reach for a
layer.
layer that makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. It's
So, but like, so like that's why I don't understand. Like, we're sitting here, we're like going through all this stuff, but there is legitimately people out there that will sit there and look at you and say that the movie is better than the miniseries. How? On what planet? Like my sister said it today.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? But to be fair, I'm pretty sure my sister has never read the book.
And if she saw the movie first, we tend to be biased toward the one you see first.
I'm not. Because I seen the 80s. I seen the 80 version.
But you read
forever ago.
But you read the book.
I guess so. So
I'm just saying, it's very common for people to have a preference to the one they saw or heard first. Like movies, songs, like anything like that. They like the version they saw first the most.
I guess that's fair.
I kind of do that with Batman, like because when I actually, Batman, The Dark Knight is like the big movie that came out
that you can remember, like really seeing Batman
when I was, younger but not too young. So Christian Bale's Batman is still my favorite.
I know. I remember how so upset you were when Ben Affleck was casted cast as Batman for Batman versus Superman in Justice League. Like it was a whole fucking thing.
I still haven't watched any of it.
See, I don't know, because I mean, like I love the original version of the Evil Dead. With Bruce Campbell, that was like made like I think like 82 or something like that. But I really like the 2013 version too, with the girl that I was watching here the other day. Like I think like they're it tells the same story in a different way. It kind of updates it, because usually I don't like remakes, like you said. Like usually you do have a bias, but like that one, like I like that one just as much.
Well, there's always an exception to every rule, and you love to be the exception.
Whatever.
But generally speaking, people tend to gravitate toward what they saw first.
All right. Well, now that we've rambled on, scathingly destroying this movie for, it says an hour and 3 minutes now.
Well, we'll have to cut.
I do want to say that it's like cutting through all my, curse words and stuff. Like, honestly, like that is, to boil it down, that really is my problem with the 1980 version. Like it takes away all of Jack's agency. There's no arc. I don't understand why they changed 217 to 237. I don't get what they were going for with the wiggly finger and the cancer voice for Danny. Like, I don't like that they made Wendy a doormat, because in the book she's not a doormat. Like those right there, like as like they could have showed the hotel working on Jack more, like the miniseries does. Okay, like you gotta give some context. Like it's like they took the meat of the story but not the bones. Okay, right. So they didn't have anything to hang their meat on.
Yeah.
Okay, like so that right there, cutting through all the bullshit, that is my problem with the 1980 version of this movie. But I rant and rave because so many people act like it is the gold standard, and they act like you're crazy if you don't like it.
It honestly floored me when I saw the 8.4 rating when I was looking it up. Like, because I was going through, like, there were a few, I looked at the stuff for Insidious. I looked at, The Last Exorcism. I looked at The Possession. Like, I was going through different things, and, like, I paid attention to that little IMDb rating on every one. And it was like, when that one popped up and said 8.4, I was like, what? Is that a mistake? That has to be a mistake. And like, that was before watching it.
Yeah, but I think though there though
kinda,
you were kind of reacting to we've been married for almost 10 years now. Like you know what I mean? Like this
yeah,
year, like 2011 is when we got married. So actually, like December of this year will be 9 years. Okay, so
yeah.
we've been married for almost a decade, right?
We've been together for a
We've
decade.
we've actually if you count before we got married, we've been together for 10 years. So like you've obviously heard me go on about how much I fucking hate this movie. So probably in the back of your mind, you see the eight. You see the 8.4, and even though you haven't seen it, in the back of your mind, you're probably like, well, how can this score be so high when Matt hates it so fucking much?
To be fair, yeah, because usually when you like a movie, it's a little. It's not that you like lower end movies, but it always seems like you love it, and it's like it didn't score that well, so it's like not everybody loves it, kind of thing. And this one is kind of the opposite.
Yeah, it was like
But it's
flipped.
not something that I would have expected.
Yeah,
Like I would have thought, your hatred it would have been a little more even. Like maybe a 5, maybe a 6.
yeah, exactly for the reasons why I picked it to do.
Yeah.
Because like I do generally like everything.
Yeah.
So even if I hate something, you're probably like, okay, he hates it, but it's not going to be, this low, score or this or that. But it's like he hates it so much, and then you see 8.4 out of 10, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, like if this rate's so high, and he usually loves everything, like how can he hate this so much?
And I did watch it, with the expectation that I would like it, despite everything you said. But it was just like.
And that's what I said too. It was like I really did like until like the movie was almost over. I made that comment. It was like because something happened in the movie that like I really wanted to just bitch about. And I was like, ugh, and I was like, I was like, no, I was like, I'm really trying not to say anything while you watch this because I don't want my hatred for it to cloud your opinion. Yeah. Like I wanted you to come into the podcast with your own fully formed opinion on the movie without me whispering in your ear.
Right. Yeah, you didn't have to because it was right from the get go. Like I said, I didn't like Wendy. From her like trying to cover for him, and then him just being an asshole, and you don't get any context as to why he's an asshole. He's just an asshole, and it's like, why the fuck are you defending this asshole? And then Danny's like, the little Tony thing, and then the comment about he's not supposed to tell anybody because Tony will be mad, that he has this gift or whatever when he's talking to the cook, chef.
Yeah, Dick Halloran. And that was another thing. 1980s movie, they just fucking killed Dick.
Yeah.
He don't die in the book, he don't die in the miniseries either.
Yeah.
Like it was like he just made these completely arbitrary changes for no reason.
Well, in that version, somebody had to die in the movie. He was too fucking crazy to not kill anybody. So when Dick showed up, he had to die.
I guess that was like, no, we gotta let Jack kill somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, okay, anybody that's made it this far, because I know this is not our usual format, and like maybe a lot of people won't want to listen to us bitch about a movie nonstop for like this long, but like if you're out there, please give me some logical reasons why you love this movie. like seriously, like I would love to know what you think this movie does right.
Yeah, beyond the talent.
Yes, beyond like give me a reason you love this movie that isn't Stanley Kubrick or Jack Nicholson.
Because listen, I understand that too, but we need a little more. I love anything Jensen Ackles is in. However, I can acknowledge that there are a couple things where it's like, if he wasn't in this, I would not enjoy it at all. It would be stupid.
Man, he would make a good Jack Torrance.
He would.
Given the emotional range that I've seen him pull off on episodes of Supernatural.
I was going to say, just from Supernatural
oh, yeah.
alone.
Like, he could do it.
Yeah.
See, now I'm curious because, like, how HBO is getting into the streaming thing? Uh-huh. They're doing, like, it's going to be called HBO Max.
Yeah.
And, like, wow, Friends left Netflix. They took Friends off Netflix because it's going to be on HBO Max. which like I don't get because it wasn't an HBO production, but whatever. But anyway, one of their original series is going to be the Overlook, done by J.J. Abrams, and it's going to be about the hotel. Now, like, I don't know if they're going to do like a really like, long form season telling of The Shining, or I think what I would like to see is if it's called Overlook, like I would like to see the shit that happened before. Like, the stuff that in the miniseries, the stuff that he reads about in the papers, like in the basement, like seeing the woman in 217 like commit suicide, like the gangland style murder that happened in the one room, like you could the presidential suite, like you could do an anthology series and like every episode could be a different story, of something that happened there. And then maybe if it goes on a couple seasons, they could retell The Shining, kind of like Hannibal did with Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
Like they started off, and it was way before any of that, and then they ended up retelling Red Dragon, even though it had been a movie. So like if they do something like that, that would be cool. So now I'm sitting here thinking, well, if they do ever do the Shining part of it, who would they get to play Jack Torrance? And it was like, so now I'll be like, Jensen Ackles would be on my list.
Yeah.
Because
with
like legit
finally ending, he's gonna be open to doing more stuff.
I would like to see him do more stuff, actually.
I would so much. It broke my heart that he didn't get to be Batman.
Like with Supernatural being on for so long, it's like I feel like he probably missed out like on a whole bunch. Actually, he did miss out on a whole bunch of stuff because originally when the Marvel Universe was getting off the ground, Kevin Feige he wanted Jensen Ackles for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it because the shooting schedule with Supernatural wouldn't work out, so it wanted Jeremy Renner instead. So like we could have had a Marvel Universe that had Jensen Ackles as Hawkeye.
Yeah, that would have been. I would have liked Hawkeye a lot more.
But whatever. So okay, final thoughts. You can boil your final thoughts down like I did. I guess you kind of did already, but
yeah, it's about the same. So I was just gonna give you my rating.
All right, rating
2 stars.
0.
You can't do 0.
Oh, I can. 0. Like I can't even give this movie a half of a star.
Even for the last 20 minutes?
Nope. Because even though Jack's in his element in the last 20 minutes, those last 20 minutes weren't earned. It was just, he's going crazy because now that's where we're at in the movie and it's time for him to go crazy. Like the hotel didn't drive him crazy. Like I don't see how isolation could drive him that crazy, especially because like Wendy and Danny weren't even doing anything to him. So like what? No, it gets nothing. Yeah. 0. If I could give it negative stars, I would give it negative stars. I would give it -5. Like the opposite side of the number line.
Then it would be a -3 overall because it would take away my 2.
Well, you shouldn't even have gave it 2.
Well,
0. But no, I do. And this is the only movie you will ever hear me talk. Oh, wait, no. Not the only one. There's one other movie that I hate as much as this movie.
Don't even ask. I don't know.
Oh my god, how could you not know?
Because I can't think that far back. It's late. I'm tired.
But I don't like remakes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know.
They remade A Nightmare on Elm Street. This.
Yeah, but I didn't think you hated it.
Oh, I fucking hate it.
You have it.
Because I'm a completionist. I have all the other Elm Street movies, so I gotta have that one.
Good to know that you wasted $30 on a movie that you hated.
I didn't waste $30 on it. No, I didn't. I waited until it went absolutely on sale. I got it out of the bargain bin at Walmart. I paid $9 for that movie.
I don't think you did.
Oh, no, I did.
I think you paid full price.
No, I did not.
You got it shortly after it came out.
Nope. Paid $9. But you know what's different about The Shining and that version of Nightmare on Elm Street that I hate so much? I could actually give that version of Nightmare on Elm Street 2 stars because the only good thing about it was Jackie Earle Haley. He was not a horrible Freddy Krueger. They just gave him shit lines to say. No, he was the only thing that did anything of any substance in that movie. so I can give it 2 stars. And there you go. You tuned in for The Shining and found out my rating for the Elm Street remake. But that movie's fucking garbage too. They should take all the copies of the 1980 version of The Shining and all the copies of the 2010 remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. I will gladly even give them mine, and they should put them all in that same landfill where they put all those ET Atari games. Done. So there you go. 2 stars from Dez, 0 stars from me. Fuck this movie. Fuck Kubrick. I hate it. So, now the pimping part. I'm sure you guys saw on Twitter today. Actually, I shouldn't say today because this isn't going to air until Thursday. But by the time this comes up, we'll be a couple brackets into our 80s slasher tournament that we're doing. I had a bunch of people submit brackets today, like, prediction brackets. Like, it's super awesome. Dude, one guy submitted a bracket that is exactly the same as mine, except for one pick is different.
Nice.
Like in 1988, he took Child's Play instead of Phantasm 2, but that's literally the only difference we have out of 40 movies.
Wow.
But
Well,
yes.
I like his version better.
You don't even like Child's Play.
I know, but I really don't like Phantasm.
It was Phantasm 2.
Doesn't matter. They're all the same. I hate them all.
This is the thing all over again. That's it. I'm gonna get my croquet mallet. About to go Jack Torrance in here. But anyway,
I will bring a butcher knife to this game.
But anyway, we should be pretty far into that by the time that airs, we should know who won the first part of the 80s bracket, between Friday the 13th and Maniac and Prom Night and Terror Train.
I thought the bracket was going until 5 p.m. Friday.
Well, I thought about that, and it's like you have Friday the 13th going against Maniac, right? And then you have Prom Night going against Terror Train, right? Yeah. And then the 2 winners of that will have to go against each other to become the 1980 finalist, right? So it's like if we let that go until Saturday, that's only going to be 1 round. So it'll literally take us 2 weeks to even get a winner for just the 80s bracket. Yeah. So it's like if I put it up today, if I let it go till Wednesday, and then on Wednesday do what's looking like right now, it looks like it's going to be Friday the 13th versus Prom Night. Yeah. So if on Wednesday I put those 2 together, then by the time we're ready to record next Saturday, we'll have that finalist. We'll either be talking about Friday the 13th or we'll be talking about Prom Night. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of stretching one bracket, each bracket out over 2 weeks.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Because 2 weeks for a bracket, it'll take forever. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to split it.
Okay.
So, yeah. So tune in next week for either Friday the 13th or Prom Night.
Possibly.
I'm going to say possibly, but I did my prediction bracket, and I have Friday the 13th coming out of 1980. I don't think because it's stomping Maniac right now. I mean, it is stomping it hard. I'm actually pulling up my profile thing right now so that I could just look at it real quick. But okay, here we go. Friday the 13th versus Maniac right now has 29 votes, and Friday the 13th is winning 86% to 14. Okay, Maniac is not going to come back from that. Now, Prom Night and Terror Train, they have 26 votes, and Prom Night's winning 62% to 38. So I mean, that one's a little bit closer. Yeah. About 22%, 28%, something 24%, something like that. But I think it's gonna be Friday the 13th versus Prom Night. And I said, huh?
And then Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I said, in my prediction bracket, I have Friday the 13th coming out of the 1980 bracket. So it would not surprise me in the least if on Saturday we're recording an episode about Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But we are doing this in conjunction with mutantfam.com. So you guys need to still go to mutantfam.com, check out all that good stuff, Video Creep, Survivor's Guild, TYTD reviews, I think it is. They have a bunch of stuff if you're into horror that you can bunch of different podcasts. Like, there's me, there's Monster Movie. It's on my thing here, the Monster Movie Happy Hour podcast, where like they make cocktails to go with their movies. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I should totally be drinking and podcasting, but whatever. Point is like, if you like a bunch of different horror stuff, you can find it there. And if you're really into Joe Bob Briggs and The Last Drive-In, we kind of sprung up around that. Like, we're big fans of that. So, we do live tweets of The Last Drive-In every Friday night. So definitely want to check that stuff out if you're into horror. So I guess I will see you. We will see you guys next week, probably for Friday the 13th.
Yeah, most likely.
Bye.
Bye.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.